Hi, everybody. Today is May 20th. And today's question is, what is the most beautiful place you've visited so far? I think I'm gonna have to go with uh, wine country in California. I went up there, oh man, it's been probably 15, 14 or 15 years. I went up there with my wife at the time and our kids for her cousin's wedding, and they had it at they had the wedding at this winery. But just to drive through there, drive up there like all along the coast. So they had like the coastline on one side of you, and you could see the ocean, and then the other side was just these, you know, hills, these like rolling hills with all sorts of vineyards and groves, with the trees, like all the fruit trees for making wine. And man, it was so pretty, and the weather was so nice. I'm pretty sure we drove with the windows down just because it was so nice outside, and there was just this small breeze. And we go when we have the wedding. um, my father-in-law officiated the wedding, just against the like backdrop. It was like in the backyard of this winery, and the backdrop was just just I mean grows just beautiful trees and greenery as far as you could see. And then afterwards, there's a what was that place called? There's a like a little. It's actually pretty famous. It's a little place where you can get like um, clam chowder in a bread bowl for super cheap. It was like $5 for this massive bowl. Oh man, that's gonna drive me nuts. What that place was called. Um, and it's like just right on the coast. Um, and like you can like feed seagulls. They're just so used to people that you could just walk up to them and feed them, and that was pretty cool. Yeah, as far as like visual beauty, I would say that was by far my number one place. Just in case anybody's interested, my second choice would have been um, Washington State. That place is just green, 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 green. Um, that was a fun trip. That was when I went once again a wedding. That's the only reason I travel anywhere beautiful. Apparently, it's for weddings. A friend of mine was getting married, so me and my girlfriend went up there, uh, with her to go uh, participate in that. And um, since we were like a hour's drive or so away from a city called Redmond, Washington, uh, I decided I was gonna go take a trip there. I was gonna drive over there myself. That's where uh, Nintendo of America headquarters is located. Um, and back then, this was like 20 years ago, almost exactly. Yeah, it was like the summer of 2001 is when I went up there. Maybe 2002. No, it was 2002. Yeah, that's right. Because I got married later that same year. Um, so I went up, and this is before we had GPS or smartphones or anything. So I had to use a map to figure out, where I was going and how to get there. My girlfriend at the time, she thought it was really stupid that I wanted to go see the Nintendo of America, because it's just like this corporate building. There's like nothing particularly special about it to anybody but a bunch of, you know, freaking nerds. So I drove up there by myself. And Redmond is kind of this huge industrial complex. I don't even know like how big the city is, but like the section that I went to didn't seem like it was anybody who actually lived there at all. It was just a whole bunch of like a whole bunch of like business complexes with a bunch of different big companies there. Nintendo was there. I think I saw Adidas had a building over there. Um, it I actually got lost. Like I couldn't find the address where I was supposed to go, so I actually just parked at a 7-Eleven in the area, and I just started walking around until I stumbled upon the Nintendo building. And it was, like it really got my heart racing. Like this was a huge piece of culture for me. Like Nintendo is what got me into video games. We wouldn't have the game industry today if it wasn't for Nintendo. Um, so I was really excited to see it, and I I was taking pictures of some things outside the building. Like they have like a big like corporate like stone what do you call it? Like a stone sign at their entryway. So I took a picture of that, all on a disposable camera. So I have no idea where those pictures are, unfortunately. And they had a Pikachu Volkswagen Bug and a Lugia Volkswagen Bug parked there for that they would drive those across the country for promotional things. And then they also they have this little like, I don't know what you would call it, a service center slash gift shop that you can go into. And I was uh so I went in there, and they've got glass cases with like just the history of Nintendo sitting in it. They had um like, I don't know if they were originals or what, but they had like the Hanafuda playing cards, which is how the company of Nintendo started back in 1890 something or other. Um, so they manufactured playing cards, and then they struck a deal with Disney in the 1950s, I believe. I know I'm probably like, if anybody who actually knows their stuff sees this video, they're gonna be dying when they hear this. But I want to say it was in the 1950s. They struck a deal with Disney to manufacture playing cards over here. So they had those, and then they had the Japanese Famicom system and the Super Famicom, and then they had all the American versions of those as well in this glass case. So that was pretty cool. Took a picture of that. And they had like a big Pikachu statue and a Mario statue, and then they had like a console kiosk that had demos of games, like either current games that were out or coming out. They had Star Fox, I think it was Star Fox Adventures on there, which is kind of an obscure title for a lot of people. It was actually made by Rare. It wasn't originally going to be a Star Fox game. It was going to be a game called Dinosaur Planet. And it was just like I don't know, what we would consider a 3D open world, but back then, so like it wasn't like a massive game, but it was still pretty big, and it was cool. So they had that, and the lady at the counter was just asking me questions because she saw like I was just I was glowing. I was so excited to be there. And I bought a couple of things. I bought like a couple of shirts, and she asked me where I was from, and I told her I was from Utah. Asked her, or she asked me, what I was doing here. And I was like, well, I'm here for a wedding, but really this was an excuse to come to Washington and come here. And she kind of felt bad that really this little like it was probably a 20 by 15 room. That's really all that they have that the general public can see. So she hooked me up with a whole bunch of posters and stickers, and I think she threw in a shirt for me as well, just because she felt bad that I didn't get to um, see a whole lot of the building that I wanted to. um, a dude walked in. I guess he worked in the call center, and he had this like brown leather jacket with Samus Aran embroidered on the back. He's pretty cool. I was like, oh my god, that jacket is dope, man. Anyway, so uh, that was probably my most favorite thing that I did, all by myself, just because I'd never done anything like that by myself. I was terrified to go driving off in a place that I did not know all by myself. But I did it, and I found the place, and got to see what I wanted to see, and it was really cool. And then when I got back to my friend's parents' house, everybody made fun of me because being a nerd was not like being a nerd now. It was still kind of something that you would make fun of, and so it was, I don't know. I wasn't exactly ashamed of it, but I don't know. It wasn't something that you could just advertise and be proud of. So anyway, this was kind of a long video, but yeah, California, wine country. If you ever get the chance to go up there, I would highly suggest it. All right, I will see you tomorrow.